Welcome to Yoga with Sam. This is my first YouTube video, so thanks for practicing with me. If you can hit the like button and subscribe and leave some comments below, let me know what you'd like to see in further videos. Today's practice is going to be aimed at strengthening and opening up through the hips. People are notoriously tight through the hips, myself included, so this is going to be a great practice for you to maybe start your day before you get to work or when you get home. If you don't have time to get to a studio, you can do this in your lounge room, bedroom, bathroom, wherever you like. And when you're ready, let's begin. We're going to start today's practice straight up in downward facing dog. So hands about shoulder width apart, feet about hip width apart. Just start to walk out the dog, pedal out through the feet. The calves and hamstrings are notoriously tight early in the morning, so good to just walk out and get as much movement as you can through here. Maybe lifting up super high on the toes, rocking both heels to right. Keep sending the hips up and back. Torso still in downward facing dog. So we're lengthening out through the side body. And just roll off onto the other side. Becoming aware of your breath. And you inhale all the way up to the crown of the head, and if you feel like the breath is getting stuck somewhere, find a little bit of stillness in the down dog. If you feel the chest is really starting to sink down, see if you can draw the low ribs in. Push away from the floor, engage through the serratus just a little more. From here we'll start to begin practice. Look forward between the hands. Lift up super high on the toes and take at least 10 steps to get towards the top of the mat. Trying your hardest to keep the palms flat the whole way and really embracing the hamstring stretch the whole way. Once you arrive, feet about hip width apart. We'll find Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, so come up on the fingertips, pull the shoulder heads back, reach the crown forward. Then exhale, Uttanasana. So bend the knees, allow the head to hang heavy. A lot of length through the neck here, so the traps are soft. Belly, chest collapsing on top of thighs. Crown of head melting down toward the floor. You can play with straightening one leg then the next, just to really say hello to the hamstrings. Top body getting a little heavier. As the legs start to get a little more grounded, a little stronger. Inhale halfway, shoulders back, crown forward. Bow to release, exhale. Now like a zombie waking up from the dead, slowly roll up to stand, articulating the spine the whole way. One vertebrae at a time, rolling up to stand. When you arrive, shoulder heads roll back, arms by side, Tadasana. Moment here to find your center. When the day is starting for you or finishing, there's always time to close the eyes, maybe hone in on intention or dedication for the practice. Maybe it's your first time you're just experimenting with yoga. Whatever it is that got you on the mat today is a perfect reason to practice, so remember that always. Take a breath in through nose. Gentle release through the mouth. On the inhale, we'll sweep arms up to sky, big breath in. Take hands through heart, Samastitihi. Let the forehead rest on the fingertips. From me to you, namaste, enjoy your practice, my friend. And inhale, sweep the arms up to sky, Urdhva. On the exhale, we'll bow forward, bending knees on the way down. Halfway lift, inhale, nice flat back. Then ground the palms super flat, step the left leg back into lunge. We'll drop the hips and try to lengthen out through the chest, keeping the palms grounded flat. Then pushing away from the floor, we'll step the right leg back, we're in a high plank. The hands about shoulder width apart and biceps wrapping towards the front. Trying to find as much length as we can. So we send the sternum forward, the crown of head. Draw the lower belly in towards the spine and tilt the tailbone back towards the hip. You can rock a little bit of weight forwards and back, just waking up through the calf. A little weight from side to side, just so you have a little bit of awareness of the muscles in the arm. First high plank is always a doozy. If you want to drop the knees onto the mat, please feel free. From here, we'll wrap biceps forward, come up high on the toes, breath in, lean forward. Then exhale, bend elbows, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, we'll press the top of the feet into the mat. Roll the shoulder heads back and lift the chest, cobra pose. Take an inhale. And then via the knees, come into a child's pose. Hips back to heels, arms reach forward. Then tucking the toes under, we'll meet in downward facing. Taking a moment again, pedal out the feet. Drawing low ribs in, keeping active through the sternum. A little lift in the chest, just to keep a little more awareness and strength through the torso. On the breath in, we look forward, lift heels. Breath out, we bend the knee. Bottom of exhale, you can walk, float, or fly to top of the mat. When you arrive, take a halfway lift, inhale. Then exhale, fold head. Inhale, we'll reach arms all the way up to sky. Hands through heart, breath out. Inhale, reach up, look up. Then bow forward, exhale. The sun salutation is just aimed at really building that fire in the belly. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Then ground the palms flat, we'll step the right leg back into lunge. So a little more length in our standing poses today. Maybe you can wiggle the right foot backwards just a touch. Palms are flat, we push away. Try your hardest without sweeping the left foot to pick it up, step it back to plank. Now we've already been here, the second plank. Hopefully a little bit easier than the first one. We'll lean forward, look forward, inhale. Exhale halfway, chaturanga. Elbows tight by the low ribs, glutes engaged, belly drawing in. We'll flip the toes, find upward facing, shoulders draw back. We lead with heart. Take a breath. Downward facing dog breath. Shoulders starting to warm up, so too the legs. Draw the lower belly in. Find our form. Maybe we step the feet back a little more for some length. Maybe the arms need to wiggle forward a little more. Really grounding down through the index knuckle. We look forward, lift the heels, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale. Bottom of breath, walk, float or fly, top of mat. When you arrive, take a halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, bow forward all the way. Sweep the arms all the way up to sky, big full inhale. Palms together at heart, samasthi to here. Sweep up, look up, breath in. Then bow forward, exhale. Knees bend on the way down. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in. From here you can walk or float back to chaturanga dandasana. Upward facing as we inhale, leading with chest. Downward facing dog, breath in. When we arrive, ground down through the left foot, take the right leg up towards the side. A little bit of internal rotation, so the pinky side of the right foot is pointing down towards the mat, thus keeping the hips nice and square. From here, draw the right knee in towards the chest. Roll the shoulders forward, light as a feather. The right heel lands outside the right hand. When we arrive, we come up onto fingertips, lower the hips. Lead with the chest. A little bit of rocking forwards and back. You can lift and lower the right toes up off the mat. And just feeling a little bit of weight through the ball of the left foot. We're getting that beautiful compression and a little bit of external rotation through the right hip. Well, the left side hip's getting a lot of length. We'll come to a little bit of stillness. Ground the left hand flat underneath the left shoulder. Spin the right arm up towards the sky. If you felt the left hip drop along the way, activate through the left glute and press the left hamstring up towards the ceiling. So the hips are nice and square. The right shoulder and right collarbone are broadening up towards the ceiling. Maybe we can gaze up. We might be able to see the right hand with our left eye, closing the right eye. Take a breath in. Exhale, right hand to the mat. From here we start to push away from the floor. Send the hips backwards, straighten through the right. Lift the right toes up off the mat. And keep the palms flat. If you need a little extra space, lift up onto fingertips. We start to lower the chest, dropping the chin towards the chest. Again, rocking a little bit of weight forwards and backwards on the ball of the left. The right quad is active, the kneecap will lift up the thigh. Take a long breath here. Exhale, palms flat. From here, we'll take the right leg back up towards the sky, full breath in. Then soften the right foot down, downward face. Quick pedal out, just to recalibrate through the legs. Then ground out through the right toes, left leg up towards the sky, finding internal rotation. Pinky side of left foot points down towards the mat, keeping the hips nice and square. Draw the left knee into chest. Roll the shoulders forward. No sound required. Left heel lands outside the left hand. Come up onto fingertips. Drop the hip. Pull the shoulders back. Reach the crown of the head forward. We're trying to keep the traps away from the ears. There's a lot of length in the neck. Think of it like a turtle head coming out of the shell. So we're lengthening forward. Rocking on the ball on the right foot, maybe lifting left toes and grounding them down. Finding your space. Keeping right glute engaged, right hamstring pressing high so there's as much activity through the right leg as we can get. Find a bit of stillness. Ground the right hand flat, spin the left arm up towards the sky. Take the left hand to the right glute, make sure it's active with the hamstring pressing high. Take the left side shoulder head away from the jaw. Extend the fingers up towards the ceiling. See if you can gaze up towards the left hand with the right eye, maybe closing the left eye. Take an inhale. Exhale, both hands to mat. Palms flat or fingertips, your choice. We're going to send the hips back, taking the left toes up off the mat. Using the exhale to soften chin in towards the chest. Finding a little more length through the vertebrae. Rocking on the ball with the right foot. Flexing left toes towards the face. Flexing left quad, the left kneecap and hip. Take a breath in. Let it out. Ground the palms flat. Left leg back up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Downward facing dog, breath out. From here we drop knees to mat, untuck the toes. Ground the fingertip behind the line of the glutes. Press the pelvis forward. Lengthening through the hip flexors, the front of the quads. The glutes are engaged, but they're not taking the whole brunt of the movement. Shoulders roll back to open up through chest, biceps, and shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, we soften down. Come back to downward facing dog. So we keep the flow of movement going to keep the blood circulating through the body. Keep the heat rising, building in the midsection, building a little bit of fire in the back. Take the right leg to sky, inhale. Right knee to right elbow, roll forward. See if you can tap. From here, right leg to sky, breath in. Right knee to left elbow, that's the opposite one. Lean forward. Tap. Right leg to sky, breath in. From here, right knee to nose, roll forward. Draw it in, pushing away from the floor. Holding there for a moment, lifting a little higher. Then stepping the right foot between the hands. When we arrive, we drop the back knee onto mat. Untuck the left toes. Start to take the hands under the hip. So a low crescent moon lunge. If you want a little more space, you can wiggle the right foot out wide. Rocking some weight forward. Lengthening out through the left hip flexor. We start to peel the shoulders back. Imagine the tailbone is trying to tuck under. Top of the glutes are soft to give a little more space with the lumbar spine. From here, one thumb crosses over the neck, so we fan the fingers wide, start to extend the arms, biceps come behind the line of the ears. Keep softening through the upper glutes, sending tailbone down, more space through the lumbar vertebrae. The lats are broadening, shoulders are softening. There's a lot of room through the neck. Take a breath here. Exhale, we send the hips back. Right toes towards the face. Finding our Ardha Hanumanasana, halfway split. If you have the availability, you can fold all the way over the left thigh. If that's not available, stay up tall, that's your choice. The hips are square. If you need to take hands onto the pelvis to try and wiggle and adjust the hips, making sure they're even. Then with right toes flexing towards the face, we allow the chest and head to soften. This one's always a doozy, it never gets easier, so embrace it. We use the exhale to try and surrender and soften a little more. You can find a little more softening through each breath, as though the chest is trying to melt down towards the floor, the head is trying to come towards the right shin or right knee. Easy for the right toes to soften, see if you can keep activating and flexing back towards it. Take an inhale, let it out. We'll come up onto fingertips, lift up halfway, flexing toes towards the face, defying gravity, we'll float the right leg in the air. Hold it there for 10, 9, keep flexing the quad, 8, for 7, 6, 5, a little higher, 4, for 3, 2, on 1, ground the right heel, rock forward to the lunge, palms flat, we tuck the left toes, take the right leg up towards the sky. From here, pointing right toes towards the back of the room, rolling right hip on top of left. Bending right knee, drawing right heel in towards the left glute. Then softening left heel down a little closer towards the mat. Keeping shoulders square towards the front of the room. We flex a little harder and press the knee up towards the sky. Take a breath. Downward facing dog, right toes touch the mat. Left leg up towards the sky, take a full breath. Left knee draws to left elbow. Roll forward, see if you can tap, keeping shoulders square. Left leg up towards the sky, take a breath in. From here, left knee finds the right elbow, that's the opposite one. See if you can keep the left hip lifted. We try and avoid the hips dropping, we keep them nice and square. Ding, make the sound so you know you've tapped it. Left leg to sky, inhale. Left knee to nose, roll forward. This is the mother of tiger curl. Push away from the floor, come up super high on the right toes. Get a little more lift, then step the left foot between the hands. Drop the back knee and find the crescent moonlight. Right toes untuck, maybe the left toes wiggle out towards the left a little more to find some more space. We rock some weight forward, keeping hands on hips. So all that tension, that negative energy, all the pent up emotions that we keep in the hips, we work to release through the breath. It can be easy when faced with the tension and tightness to think that holding the breath is really going to make it easier. You must remember the only thing that holding the breath makes easier is passing out, which I hope is not your intention from today's practice. Opposite thumb hooks over, fingers spread out wide. Biceps behind the line of the ears. Top of the glutes are soft, tailbone tilts down towards the back heel. Space through the low back, space in the neck, the traps are soft. Take a breath in. Exhale, we'll find Ardha Hanumanasana, the halfway split. Left toes towards the face. You can fold all the way back over the right thigh if that's comfortable, or just stay up here halfway. No lazy toes, we keep them flexing, dorsiflexion at the ankle. Take an inhale, and then soften. So we continually soften through exhale. It doesn't have to be much, maybe a millimeter or a centimeter each time. We have to listen to the body. We bow down towards the body, letting it know that it's the boss. We listen, we receive, we make judgment. We don't push too far if we know it's not going to serve our body in this time, in this space. So we take it soft. We be kind to the body will respond with kindness to us. Take a breath. Let it out. Lift up halfway, fingertips ground. Left toes are flexed. From here we float the left leg in the air for 10. 9, for 8, great way to strengthen the hip flexors. 7, for 6, 5, a little higher for 4, for 3, 2, on 1, ground the foot, rock forward to the lunge. Tuck the right toes, palms flat, we take the left leg up to sky. Pointing left toes behind us, rolling left hip on top of right, externally rotating the hip. Bend the left knee, draw left heel in towards right glute, soften right heel towards the mat a little more. Keep pressing through the right hand, making sure the shoulders stay square. Lift the knee a little higher, take a full breath. Exhale, down dog. The hips are absolutely opening, responding and warming. To finish off, we'll look forward between the hands. Lift the heels, bend the knees. You can walk or float. We're going to land the heels outside the hand. Malasana Yogi Squat. Sitting the hips down nice and low. Resting elbows on top of the thigh. Letting the eyes soften shut. The spine lengthen. Crown of the head reach high towards the sky. Grounding the heels is simply not an option. You come up onto the toes, ground the fingers in front of you, rock the hips from side to side. A little more fluidity in the practice. Almost a little bit animalistic in your movements. So embracing your hips for what they are, maybe super open, maybe not so much. Whatever your hips are, they're perfect, just know that. From here we'll come back to square. Reach the arms out in front. Lower the hips under the mat. Allow both knees to fall off to the left hand side. Flexing toes towards the shins, dorsiflexion at the ankle. Take the hands behind the hips. Keeping the toes flexing, we'll pivot on the heels, rock the knees from side to side. Aiming at trying to get knees all the way down to the earth on either side. In our daily life, we're standing, we're walking, we're sitting, or we're laying down, majority of the time. So we're not getting all that beautiful internal and external rotation that the hips really allow us. They are, at the end of the day, a ball and socket joint, so we have all this beautiful mobility. So we're just walking, sitting and laying down, we're really doing our hips an injustice. You want to use the hips you have as much as you can, so you don't have to get a shiny new metal pen. You'll notice along the way I've lifted my hands up off the mat to make the movement a little more sensationalized. So not only are we getting the hip mobility now with hands lifted up off the mat, we're getting a little glute massage, a little side abdominal crunch. But we're just going to be here for 5, for 4. This one I would suggest you do every day. For 3. Not long, maybe it's a minute, maybe 30 seconds. 4, 2. And 1. Extend the legs out nice and long. Give them a shake. 2 thumbs up. We'll pop the thumbs into the crease of the hip flexor. So if you lightly lift one leg and then the next, you'll feel that little guitar string of the hip. That's the one we want to give a nice little stretch, a little massage. And taking soles of feet together, letting knees fall out wide for Baddha Konasana. Super tight hips, your diamond's going to be really, really long with feet away from the face. Hips nice and open, feet closed. Wiggle and adjust the sitting bones so they're even the ground. Take the breath here. And allow yourself to fall. Keeping the chest proud, the shoulders back, spine nice and long. When it feels good for you, drop chin to chest. Allow the back of the neck to lengthen all the way into the base of the skull. Allowing the efforts of the practice to unwind. Allowing the breath to slow. So too the heart rate. Maybe the eyes soften shut. Come back to intention or dedication if you set yourself one at the beginning of practice. If nothing else, we've got the heart rate going. A little more mobility, activity, and movement in the hips. Maybe your day can start or finish with a little more freedom. And stay as long as you like. That's all we've got time for. Thanks again for joining me on my first YouTube video. I hope to practice with you soon. Don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe. Share as much as you like. Thanks my friends. Namaste.